Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to the online meeting of Agnel Toastmasters Club. I am pleased to be your Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. In the online meeting environment, there are a few instructions that we follow. I request you to rename yourselves. All Toastmasters can prefix TM to your name, and guests can prefix guest. I also request all the speakers and role holders to prefix their role to their name so that it's easy to identify them. I give you 10 seconds for this activity. All speakers are requested to do a quick audio and video check before they start their speech. Tech host will confirm on the settings. I would request you not to type in the chat box when a speaker is speaking as it disturbs the speaker. You can use the private chat to provide feedback. You are all requested to keep your audio on mute in case you aren't speaking. Please refrain from unnecessary movements or sipping on drinks if your video is on. Please turn off the video in case you need to do so. Do not click on share screen unless your speech or role requires you to do so. You can display a high five or namaste when taking over or leaving from a room. You can connect with the tech master, that is me, for any technical glitch. If you are a speaker, then please ensure you pin the timer or confirm that the same is visible at all times. This meeting is being recorded. In case you have any reservations, please let us know. We can network during the break and after the meeting. Let me share the mission of the club. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. I welcome the presiding officer, Toastmaster Sanish, to take you through the further proceedings. He is the president of Agnel Toastmasters Club for more than 3 years. He has been a Toastmaster. He enjoys playing table tennis, loves public speaking and networking, and he loves eating pani puri parties to whoever turns on their video. Over to you, Toastmaster Sanish.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand. Please give him a round warm of applause to the Sergeant at Arms for today and Vice President Education of our club, Toastmaster Anand. Good evening, everyone. And it's great to see so many handsome people and smiles behind the camera. Unfortunately, I cannot say for all the 40 people. I request everybody to switch on the videos if possible. It's like just 14 of us. So it's like a close-knit circle. So it's great to see all the faces and smiles. Yeah, and it's unfair, right? Somewhere on the road, if you see me and you see I have seen you somewhere, I don't get that privilege of saying back to you, yeah, I have also seen somewhere, because I cannot see the people who have not switched on the videos, because I just see the names, right? Black and white characters. So thank you again, Amrita. Thank you, Jamie, for switching on the videos. Santosh, like the Sergeant Ram said, no Pani Puri party for you, as well as probably Sahish, Manju, and Pushpa. Now I see the videos going on. Thank you, guys. So we have, I would say, one good news, one kind of bad news. We just have few members, 14 people, including one guest. So that's kind of, I would say, bad news, because we always believe more the merrier. But the good news is probably all of us can get to participate in table topic session. So that's how I would like to look at it. And request everybody do participate table topics. I would be throwing my hat in the ring today, since we have a lot less crowd, and take advantage of that opportunity. Now I'd request our guest Jerome, how he came to know about our club, if he can share with us, and what he's looking for this particular platform.
Actually, this is my second session today. Last also I attended. I heard about it through Google. I just looked for Toastmaster Club, and they were showing like two clubs, one in Kharghar and one in Vashi. So I tried to call up Vidya, and she gave me more details, and that's how I got connected here. And what I'm really looking is more into public speaking. I'm not very comfortable or very confident when it comes to speaking in front of people. So I want to improve my skill, and it's never late to develop a new skill. So I joined this.
Thank you, Jerome. Great to have with us. And it's true what you had said. It's never too late to change who we are. And I have a story for all of us, something I read, and I think it's very related to what Jerome just shared with us. So the story goes something like this. A gentleman was walking down the road and he comes across an elephant camp. And he looks the huge animals, the elephant, they are tied down with simple ropes around the wood pieces. And if the elephant tried a bit, it could easily break away and run. And so the gentleman asked the person who was looking after the elephant, how come the elephant is tied by such a simple rope? And the person says that as a small elephant, the elephant kid is tied. And during that time when the elephant kid struggles, it is difficult for it to break away. And as the time passes, as the elephant grows, it stops trying. It's somewhere it accepts, all right, I cannot break away with these shackles. And I think it happens sometimes with us also. We accept our weaknesses, we accept our faults, and we try to define it as part of our identity. And we stop trying to change ourselves. Now I come to believe Toastmasters is such platform which gave me personally that opportunity to become a better speaker, better leader. 4 years back, I'm sure Vinay would agree with me, I did not see in myself I could become a president, or how Anand shared, like I could be the president of the club or possibly division director. I did not see those qualities in me. Somewhere the senior Toastmasters in our club, they thought, okay, this person can probably help us, and gave me the opportunities, and always said yes, turned up always for the opportunities and said yes. And 4 years down the line, I have the opportunity, the honor and privilege to stand in front of the club and be the presiding officer. So it's never too late, like how Jerome said, it's now. The moment we realize that what we want to do and start taking action towards it, that's when the real progress and fun begins. So I hope, guys, whatever that one thing you have been putting backward, always you felt you cannot work upon, or you have that bad habit you have been associating with your identity, break it down, challenge yourself, take that one small step or action and redefine yourself. So friends, the Toastmaster of the day today, it gives me a pleasure to introduce. He's taking this role for the first time, and he's got a very interesting theme, something which I'm looking forward to. And he's recently joined our club. So please help me to welcome with a warm round of applause, Toastmaster of the day, Ashwin.
Thank you for the warm introduction, Toastmasters Anish. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, it is my pleasure to serve as your Toastmaster this evening. For the benefit of the guests, I would like to explain the structure of the meeting. This meeting is divided into 3 rounds. The first is the prepared speech round, where members will be delivering speeches based on the projects and pathways they have chosen. The second part of the session is the table topics round, where members can practice thinking and speaking on their feet. This round is also known as the impromptu speech section. Guests are welcome to participate in this round as well. The third and the final round is the evaluation round, in which all the prepared speeches, as well as other aspects of the session, will be evaluated by the general evaluator and his or her team. Before we start with the prepared speeches, let me talk about the theme of the day. The theme for today's evening is an evening with time travelers, Toastmaster edition. I'll start with a simple story. Theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking likes 2 things: simple experiments and champagne. So he combined the 2 and solved one of humanity's age-old questions. Will humans be able to time travel? Hawking threw a champagne party for time travelers, complete with grog and balloons, in 2009, and didn't release the invitation until after the party had taken place. If people had shown up, he hypothesized, it would be proof that time travel is real. You are cordially invited to a reception for time travelers, hosted by Professor Stephen Hawking. The invite says, to be held in the park at University of Cambridge. It also had the latitude and longitude, along with the date, June 28, 2009. I sat there for a long time, but no one came, Hawking said in a statement. Since people didn't show up, time travel is not real, right? Or is it? Of course, just because no one came doesn't mean that time travel doesn't exist. Do you all realize that we all are time travelers in a way? Even though we all are sitting at one place, stationary, not moving through the three dimensions of space, we are constantly moving across the dimension of time. We do all time travel, just not in a controlled way. In today's meet, I would like to take you across few mysteries of time and the vast world of its possibilities. So let's get on our spaceship and take this journey to the possibilities of time travel. Just how gravitational field and velocity are the pillars of time travel. As the Toastmaster of the day, it is my duty to introduce the bearers or pillars who will assist me in running today's session. To help us navigate into the meeting, help in spotlighting the speakers, we have the very crucial Tech Master role, handled by Toastmaster Anand. If time travel is possible, Toastmaster Anand would like to travel to a future of technological singularity where humans would never have to work. I would really enjoy that, Toastmaster Anand. I would request Toastmaster Anand to kindly unmute and spotlight himself. Toastmaster Anand, I would request you to explain your role.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin. My role is to spotlight people, release the polls, and then in case you have face any technical glitches, I am the person to reach out to. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Ashwin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand. To track the good and not so good usage of grammar, we have the grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Pushpa. If time travel is possible, Toastmaster Pushpa would like to travel into the past in the era of Mahabharata and Ramayanas, as she really likes mythological stories and would like to see and experience these stories. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Pushpa. Toastmaster Pushpa, I request you to explain your role.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As it is said that grammar is to a speaker what anatomy is to a sculptor. You may loathe it may bore you, but nothing will replace it once mastered. It will support you like a rock. Good grammar helps you communicate clearly and get what you want. Grammar is the groundwork of clear communication. The better the grammar, the clearer the message, the more likelihood of understanding the message's intent and meaning. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I take note of any incorrect usage of grammar as well as any good usage of words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. So the word of the day is adroit, which means clever or skillful. Its examples are: she was adroit in her ability to judge character, which was extremely valuable in her role as a project leader. The child was an adroit pianist at an early age. The phrase of the day is: every cloud has a silver lining. It means that every sad or unpleasant situation has a positive side to it. Its examples are: though he had failed his exam, he realized that every cloud has a silver lining. As of now, he could focus his attention on things he loved doing. I found a new job after all, and I like this one much better than the last. You see, every cloud has a silver lining. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day. I will give my report when called upon by the general evaluator. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pushpa. To keep track of the R's and ums during the meeting, we have the R counter of the day, Toastmaster Manju. Toastmaster Manju would like to travel back to her joining days of IOCL in Kolkata. She says back then, all she had to do was attend the field training and come back and enjoy life at five-star hotel. I request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Manju. Toastmaster Manju, I request you to explain your role.
Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm the air counter for the day. As the air counter, I will note words and sounds that are used as crutch or fillers by the speakers. During the meeting, I will listen to the crutch words such as and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds such as I will note when a speaker repeats a phrase such as I, or this means, and of long or short pauses. I will give my report when called for by the general evaluator. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manju. To keep track of the time spent by each speaker, please help me welcome the timer for the day, Toastmaster Saish. Toastmaster Saish would like to go back to the 20th century and meet Nikola Tesla. The reason being his brilliant inventions. Indeed, Toastmaster Saish. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Saish. Toastmaster Saish, I request you to explain your role.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am the timer for the day. As the timer, my duty is to time the prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluations. For prepared speech, the time allotted varies as per the project and will be stated by the evaluator. For instance, an icebreaker, the time allotted is 4 to 6 minutes. For table topics, the time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. For evaluation, the time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes. Speakers must meet the specified time limit to qualify for the awards at the end of the meeting. I will display green screen at the minimum qualifying time, a yellow screen at the midpoint of the qualifying time range, and red screen at the maximum qualifying time till the end of the speech. For prepared speech and evaluation, the speaker has 30 seconds grace before the minimum qualifying time and after the maximum qualifying time. For table topics, there is a grace of 30 seconds only after the red screen is displayed. All speakers who continue to speak beyond the 30 seconds grace will not qualify for the vote. I will report the time taken by speakers when called upon. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saish. Let's take our spaceship to the first planet of prepared speeches. Here, time goes way slower. The first speaker for the round will be Toastmaster Siddharth. To evaluate this speech, we have Toastmaster Shobit. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Shobit. If time travel was possible, Toastmaster Shobit would like to go and see which stocks are ruling this market. And then he will come back and purchase those stocks with all the money he has. I see Toastmaster Shobit making tons of money with time travel. Toastmaster Shobit, I request you to please read out the speech objectives.
So Toastmaster Siddharth is attempting level 1 project 1 from Pathway Team Collaboration. The purpose of the project is for the member to introduce himself to the club and to learn basic structure about the public speech. All the best, Toastmaster Siddharth. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shobit. And now I would like to welcome the first speaker for the day, Toastmaster Siddharth. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Siddharth. If time travel was possible, Toastmaster Siddharth would like to travel to 14th century and explore the Song dynasty in China, which was a highlight of Chinese civilization. He would also like to travel to the future where space travel is affordable. Would you like to check your audio and video, Toastmaster Siddharth?
Yeah, hi. Am I audible and clear?
Yes, you are. Toastmaster Saish, can you flip the timer cards?
And I'm sharing my screen. Is the presentation visible?
Yes, it is. You can see the timer card, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay, fine. You can go ahead. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Siddharth. Toastmaster Siddharth, paintings, paintings, Toastmaster Siddharth.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin. Well, life is like a painting. You start off with a blank canvas and you fill it up with color as time passes on. Your life is a medley of a variety of different art styles and colors painted by your loved ones, your friends, and of course, you yourself, the lead painter. Good evening, folks. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster, and guests. Today, I'll be taking you through my own canvas. I was born on August 1993 in bright and sunny Chennai, and my parents christened me on that day with the name R. Siddharth. Siddharth is another name for the Tamil god Kartikeya, the god of the Tamil language, and also the well-known and loved Gautama Buddha. So these first few brushstrokes were deeply meaningful. My parents hoped that I'll be as eloquent and valiant as Lord Kartikeya and as wise as Lord Gautama Buddha. Well, we are all still hoping that I am at least one of those things. My life from then on could roughly be divided into three distinct art styles. One is the Renaissance art phase, the second is Romanticism, and the final one is contemporary art. So you would have all gone through paintings created by the master Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and so on and so forth. And if I were to take a more anachronistic but Indian example, paintings by Raja Ravi Verma, just take a few seconds to look at these paintings. What do you see? Well, what I see is realism. These master painters tried to mirror life as they saw it. Look at the realism in these paintings. It feels like they are coming, just looking at them, they come to life. Well, my parents tried something similar with my life. While I was growing up, there was a certain Pados ka ladka or Pados ki didi who was a class topper, who was aiming to be a doctor, a CA, an engineer, well, a master pianist, a master vinaist, if you may. So my parents tried to do something similar, quite similar with my life. They wanted me to be the exact copy or the exact mirror image of the person they were looking at, the Pados ka ladka. Right. This may be you all may share a similar story in your own lives too. The problem I faced was we moved around a lot while I was growing up. So the examples that my parents looked at kept changing year after year, month after month. So I was to be a doctor one day, an engineer the second, CA on the third, a masterful Carnatic music player one day, a sculptor, a painter on another. So glad to say, because of all these myriads of different things, I grew up to be a stark, raving lunatic. Well, from then on, that was my Renaissance art phase. Then I slowly started growing up and I entered the Romanticism art era. So in this phase, Romanticism is all about rebellion. So I have established already that how I became a schizophrenic and a lunatic. Ironically, this mental condition allowed me to pursue a wide array of different pursuits. I became an avid enjoyer of fantasy. I imagined myself in the House Gryffindor, battling Voldemort with Harry Potter. Well, then I imagined myself in the universe of the Wheel of Time, engaged in great discussions with the Aes Sedai. I became a history buff. Well, Ashwin already took the example of Song Dynasty in China. So one of my favorite historical eras to be in. Apart from that, I imagined myself traveling to the Chola dynasty in Tamil Nadu. Post that, I'm also an amateur sculptor. So I'm currently working on creating a rendition of Chinese dragon. And so on and so forth. I have a myriad of different pursuits. So much so that my best friend calls me a purveyor of useless knowledge. But there was one thing I gained from all these pursuits. It allowed me to find myself. I was no longer the copy of a Paddos colored king. I was slowly and steadily becoming Siddharth. So this is all about the Romanticism art phase, which is about rebellion. From then on comes the contemporary art phase. Just take a few seconds, folks, to look at these paintings. Well, try and figure out in your own minds what you make of them. Well, I sure as hell can't divine the meaning of these paintings. They are quite difficult to think about. But one thing that is sure is these paintings make me calm. These paintings make me happy. So this is the era of life I'm currently in. This is the era of my own adult life and career. I've tried many different things during my 5 years in as a professional, a banker, a financial analyst, and a consultant. All these career changes are helping me find myself. In the romanticism art phase, I found what I wanted to be. In this art phase, I'm trying to figure out the world. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
As this is a milestone speech, I would ask everyone to give him a warm applause. You can stop sharing your screen, Toastmaster Siddharth. The second speaker for the round is Toastmaster Amrita. To evaluate the speech, right. Yeah. You can fill the details. Is the feedback form is on? Are the votes done, Toastmaster Anand?
We have got 6 responses out of 15. Till the moment you may introduce the evaluator.
Sure. The second speaker for this round is Toastmaster Amrita. To evaluate the speech, we have Toastmaster Harshada. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Harshada. If time travel was possible, Toastmaster Harshada would like to travel in the past, meeting her old friends with whom she has lost touch over time. Toastmaster Harshada, I request you to please read out the speech objective.
Yeah. Today I'll be evaluating a speech by Toastmaster Amrita. She is attempting her level 1 E2 speech, transformation journey of 10 days of pathway presentation mastery. The purpose of this project is for the member to present speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a next speech. Timer, please note, timing is 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harshada. Now I would like to welcome our second speaker of the day, Toastmaster Amrita. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Amrita. If time travel was possible, Toastmaster Amrita would like to go back to her childhood and want all her freedoms back. Would you like to check your audio and video, Toastmaster Amrita?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Am I visible?
Can you, Sage, can you flip the timer cards? Is it visible, Toastmaster Amrita? Are the timer cards visible, Toastmaster Amrita?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yep. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Amrita. Toastmaster Amrita, transformation journey of 10 days. Transformation journey of 10 days, Toastmaster Amrita.
How many of you would like to go for free vacation in hills? But one thing I want to communicate here is that you are not allowed to talk, to read, or to write. No connection with family and friends. And most important, no mobile phones. So how many of you would like to go? Please show your hands. Three to four hands are raised. Thank you for participating. Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster and guest. The idea of living with yourself is sound much harder than living your phone. Now what I said, just multiply that by 10 days. So this is the rough estimate that I let go when I went to my Vipassana meditation retreat in 2019 in Igatpuri. So Vipassana is in my bucket list since 2010 when I started my yoga journey. So what is Vipassana? Vipassana is the technique where you see things as they really are, without any judgment, without passing any judgments. It is a process of mental purification through self-observation. When I told my parents that I have to do this, they were shocked and asked question like, are you suffering from depression or anxiety? My mother is like, do you have any problem with your husband? And I face lots of questions like this. But when I share this is in my bucket list and I really want to do this, they granted me a permission with a very heavy heart. I still remember that day when I reached Igatpuri. It was a rainy day, and Vipassana Center was located in the middle of the mountains, surrounded by lots of trees. I fell in love with that place immediately. On 25th September 2019, at sharp 5 p.m., I submitted my mobile phone to admin department, and they gave us some basic instruction to follow for 10 days. We have to follow 5 precepts in Vipassana very strictly. First, to abstain from telling lies, which was very quite easy because you are in the war of silence, which is called a noble silence. Second, to abstain from killing, even a smallest one like mosquitoes or ants. Third, to abstain from stealing. Fourth, to abstain from any sexual activities. And fifth, to abstain from taking any intoxicant like cigarettes or alcohol, which is a major craving for a lot of people and a huge reason people give up. Our days start at 4 a.m. and ends at 9:30 p.m. And within that more than 10 hours of meditation, only few hours left for eating and rest. And uh, on first day, I was introduced to Anapana, which is technique you can observe your breathing pattern, observing your incoming and outgoing breath. It was in the beginning, it was very hard to sit for 10 hours and try to meditate. It takes almost 3 days to realize that, just to let go and observe. On fourth day, Vipassana was introduced. In Vipassana, you have to observe your body sensation from toe to head, like a tickling, itching, and most difficult part is like, don't react to that sensation. Starting days are like a holiday for me. But after each passing day, I was missing my family very badly. And at the same time, I want to complete that 10 days. But when I came back, I realized the benefit from Vipassana meditation. Now I share my some learning with you. First, your you don't the routine and discipline both will be monotonous after some days, but it brings stability to your life. Second, to convey your message, you don't need to talk too much. Third, you can coordinate with someone without utter a single word if you have a very good coordination with very good understanding from day one. And last but most important, no need to carry a baggage of painful experiences. Just focus on your present moment, just focus on your breath, just uh, focus on your truth. In Vipassana, you have to observe your all the body sensation, and it's like an emotion. You cannot happy for so long, you cannot sad for too long. And main thing is that you don't have to react to each and every situation. So I just want to convey that in that 10 days, I was not a daughter or a wife or a sister. I was just me, and that 10 days are mine. I cherish my that 10 days of experience all my life, and I urge you to all of you to go there and just feel yourself, to take a break and give full attention to your body and breath to feel yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amrita, for the wonderful speech. My sister herself had gone for the Vipassana a few years back, and it's something I'm looking forward to. I request Zoom Master to launch the feedback too. Are the votes up, Toastmaster Anand?
Yes, the polls have been launched. You may proceed.
Yeah. I'll go forward. The third speaker for this round is Toastmaster Vinay. To evaluate the speech, we have Toastmaster Sanish. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Sanish. If time travel is possible, Sanish says that he would not choose to travel in time. Time is very tricky and should not be messed with. Changing the past or future may have undesired outcomes. He says time travel is like a Pandora's box, which it is indeed. Toastmaster Sanish, I request you to please read out the speech objective.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Distinguished Toastmaster Vinay would be attempting Project 1, Level 4 from Visionary Communication. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice the skills needed to effectively communicate change to a group of organization. The purpose of this speech is for the member to practice speaking about change. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanish. Now I'd like to welcome our third speaker for the day, Toastmaster Vinay. I would request Zoom Master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Vinay. If time travel is possible, Toastmaster Vinay would like to travel to a time when his father was young and would like to do theatre with him. I feel that's a very sweet sentiment. Would like Toastmaster Vinay, would you like to check your audio and video?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Can you see the timer cards? Saish, can you flip the timer cards?
Yes, I can see the timer cards.
Okay. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Vinay. Toastmaster Vinay, CT Bajao. CT Bajao, Toastmaster Vinay.
Do you remember when we were kids and secretly we used to inform our parents that our older siblings are up to Mama, do you know Bhaiya smokes with his friends? Mama, do you know Didi went to watch a movie with her friends? And what happens afterwards? All of us know. We got scolded and threatened by our brothers and sisters that they will never treat us with the ice cream or they will never take us anywhere. My dear Toastmasters and guests, still, we did not feel threatened. Why? Because we were carefree. We did not bother about the consequences. That age is such that in our innocence, we did not think twice before saying or telling the truth. We did not think against whom we are blowing the whistle. Now, let us visualize another scenario. What happens is that you must have noticed that sometimes there is some prank which is played, some prank in a classroom or in an office scenario. And then our professor asks, who has done this? But as a team, we decide we will not divulge. And sometimes something wrong happens in office. A colleague, he might be very helpful, very nice person, but we know that he is a habitual thief. Nothing great, small things like tissue papers. But we do not blow the whistle. Why? Because we do not think that it is such a great thing, or we feel that why should I be a traitor? Now, you must have faced many such scenarios wherein in a particular situation, you must have noticed that one half of people react in a particular way and other half react in opposite way. And both have very, very strong opinions about this. Now, why does this happen? According to psychologists, we have two core moral values that are pitted against each other. What are these values? These values are sense of honesty and sense of loyalty. Now, how does one person behave in a particular situation depends on which core value is predominant in that individual. So as kids, we were told by our parents that honesty is very important. We should be very honest without thinking of the consequences. And you must have noticed that kids do not think of anything. They will say anything which comes to our mind. But it stops. As we grow up, we stop doing that. Have you ever thought, why does this happen? Dear friends, this is explained in the theory of moral foundation. And that theory says that those people who have stood by us, we should support them. They stand by us thick and thin. They stand by us and support us thick and thin. So we must protect them under any circumstances. So what should we do? Should we be honest and name the culprits, or should we be loyal and stand by those people? Unfortunately, the decision is not so simple. What is the definition of goodness here? Are we good if we expose the culprit and are called informers or snitches, or we are fair and loyal to our friend? Robin Hood, you remember? Robin Hood was an outlaw who used to rob the rich people and he used to distribute the money to poor people. Now, anybody who's reporting about him will have the same dilemma, whether he should be loyal or whether he should be honest and on the side of the law. Both the positions are not wrong. It depends upon what core moral value is predominant amongst us. Now, let us talk about organizational context. In each company, there's a whistleblowing policy. But then, how many whistles are blown? How many people bajao the city? Hardly any. Why does this happen? It happens because every time when we are reporting something, people will come and say that, you are spoiling the reputation of the organization. And if I'm not loyal and if I report something, if I do not report something, sorry, then the other set is bewildered about the moral conclusion that I have drawn. I'm not reporting something. So whenever we are forced to choose between loyalty and honesty, it can be really very agonizing. But there's a way. There's a way to choose loyalty, because honesty is something which I feel is a core value. How we can reduce this how can we can reduce this agony in the organizational contest is that honesty is something which we cannot compromise with, but loyalty is something which we can reframe. How we can reframe is loyalty to a friend, loyalty to a family, loyalty to an organization, loyalty to a country, loyalty to the human being. And that is what we have to understand. So we can still blow the whistle without feeling a sense of disloyalty. For most people, the most loyal thing that you can do is that call out a bad behavior in an organization, call out take the help of the whistleblowing policy in the organization and make sure that there's nothing wrong. So I urge you, be a good citizen and city bajao. Thank you. Over to you.
That was wonderful, Toastmaster. I request Zoom Master to launch the feedback wheel.
The polls have been launched.
Are the votes up, Toastmaster Anand?
We just got 5 results. We are still waiting for 2 to 3 more.
Request
Someone.
everyone to vote.
I guess we can close it in another 15 seconds. In the meantime, we can call up the timer for the report.
Sure. Now I request Toastmaster Saish to present the timings taken by all the speakers.
Yes.
I would request Zoom Master Anand to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Saish.
Yeah. Toastmaster Siddharth, speaker 1 took 6 minutes 41 seconds. Speaker 2, Toastmaster Amrita, took 6 minutes 25 seconds. And speaker 3, DTM Vinay, took 6 minutes 32 seconds. Toastmaster Amrita and DTM Vinay have qualified for the vote.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Saish. Zoom Master Anand, are we ready with the polls for the best speaker?
Can you once again confirm who's not qualified?
Speaker 1 is not qualified.
Up to 6 minutes.
The polls for the best speaker have been launched. Do let me know in case anybody is not able to see the polls.
मेरे बारे में कुछ बोल रहा था क्या? मेरे बारे में कुछ पूछा है क्या?
Are we done with the votes, Toastmaster Anand?
Yes, we have just 2 more polls. I guess the people who are not able to see the polls, probably they can update their software or select the polls option and then it should appear. There's just one vote to go.
Okay, okay.
On a count of 5 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I end. Thank you.
Yeah. Moving forward with our theme, people have been interested with the possibility of time travel for a long time now. So many research papers have been written. So many movies have been made. Back to the Future, Interstellar, Avengers Endgame. the future and one to the past. You might all think that it's impossible to travel in time, but that's not true. Einstein was the first one who introduced the concept of time dilation, which basically means time is like a river. Just like certain sections of the river flow fast and certain flow slow, time also varies for each situation based on the velocity and gravity. Faster is your velocity, slower the time flows for you compared to other places. Bigger the gravitational field, slower the time flows for you compared to the rest. You must have all seen the movie Interstellar, where they travel to a planet which is very close to the black hole and hence a very strong gravitational field. 1 hour on that planet is equal to 7 years on Earth. Now let's take our spaceship and go to the planet of table topics. Here time goes very quickly. This round is all about spontaneity. To provide us with the challenge for today's table topics, we have the table topics master who will be conducting the session. Today's table topics master is Toastmaster Jamie. Toastmaster Jamie would love to live through the present and make it the best as she knows, which is something which she has longed for quite some time, and she wouldn't choose for time travel. Please help me in welcoming the table topic master for the day, Toastmaster Jamie. I would request Zoom master to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Jamie. Over to you, Toastmaster Jamie.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Ashwin. Okay, for table topics, we have questions relating to time travel itself. So one small tip that I would like to give you for table topics is take it up. The best table topics responses are often those where the speaker avoids a serious or a conventional answer. So whatever comes to your mind, be eccentric and just tell it off. Okay, so I will tell you how it goes about. So I will be sharing my screen and there'll be random cards which are already shuffled and you'll be just having to take it. Okay. So I want the first volunteer who wants to take up table topics for today. Any volunteer? All right. Okay, my grandmother is asking, why did you stop speaking? I see no volunteers, Grandma. Okay, there's Sagar. Toastmaster Sagar. Thanks for volunteering. Toastmaster, thank you for spotlighting him. I will show the table topics for you. The first topic for Toastmaster Sagar would be, do you think time travel will be possible one day? Toastmaster Sagar, do you think time travel will be possible one day? Do you think time travel will be possible one day? Toastmaster Sagar. Just a minute. Sagar, we have...
You're on mute, Toastmaster Sagar.
Hello? Yeah. This time travel concept is there from, it has been there in the popular culture for many years. From the childhood, I am listening different stories and I'm watching different movies related to this. But whenever I'm thinking logically, it is not, I'm not fully convinced it is possible to travel back to the future or go back to the past and or go to the future. So that is my understanding of this thing. But according to the scientist or scientific community, it is possible to go to the past because there is a concept called time, the speed of light. So speed of light concept is that let's say the speed of light is the highest speed that anything can achieve, and beyond that it is not possible. So light travels with that speed. So let's say from the sun the light is coming to the earth. So if the sun goes away, then it takes around 10 minutes to know the sun goes away. So similarly, there is a concept called if there is a star and something is happening there, the light has not come to the earth. It will come around, let's say, 1 million year. So if we go back to 1 million, then we can see what is happening on that star. So that is one way to see the past, what happened to that star, because the light has not reached. It will take some time to reach, and at that time we can see what is happening, what happened to the star. So this is a one way of going to the past, but I don't think we can go to the future.
Wow, that's a wonderful scientific reasoning for time travel. Thank you, Toastmaster Sagar, for that wonderful explanation.
Thank you.
Next volunteer. Okay, for your information, guests can also take part in this. And there'll be just simple questions. Whatever comes to your mind, you can speak it out. Any volunteer? Ooh. Sanish, can you, okay. Yes, can you speak now?
Yes.
Great, you're audible. So your card would be, what would you ask a tourist from the future? What would you ask a tourist from the future? Sanish.
Well, that's a very interesting question. The first thing, if the tourist comes from the future, do I have to show that person around? And the second thing is, I would be happy if that person happens to be a lady. I think I'll enjoy the journey more about showing the city, if it happens to be a beautiful lady. And finally, I will come to the main question. As a financial analyst and an investor, which are the stocks which were doing well? Because I would like to invest and make some money. Like if a person is coming from the future, why not take the benefit? And I have a proposal for that person. Like if that person can give me good tips, I will invest money in the stocks, in real estate, and all the possible investments, and certainly keep aside a good corpus amount of that money for that person, so that that person can take benefit in the future as well. So his or her whole family would be set, as well as in the process, I will also end up making some money. The same time, I would also like to know how the other thing happens. Definitely, will the COVID go? For sure, or will it be a wave after wave? And do I need to buy mask every year? That is something I think most of us would like to know. And again, one last thing I would like to know from the tourists from the future is, when would our club meet physically? Because that is something I'm really looking up to, and I don't know if you guys are looking to that or not. Thank you, and over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Sanish. Just for you, I wish to go to the future and come back to just have a corpulent bank account. Thanks, Sanish, for that nice answer. Okay, next volunteer, please. Anyone, please raise your hand. Harshada. Harshada, kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah.
You're audible and you're visible. I share my screen. Your card. Harshada, what images are in your mind when you hear the word time? What images are in your mind when you hear the word time? Toastmaster Harshada.
So when I hear the word time, first of all, this kind of, I don't think so this might have come in someone's mind or not, because everyone follows different culture tradition. But it has been always in my mind that if whenever the time comes in my mind, I would like to go to see Mahabharata. I wanted to see that how that yuddha happened, how Arjuna guided, how Krishna guided Arjuna, and why Karna failed. Lots of things about Mahabharata. I still I just cannot get the clear picture, even though I read that book again and again. I wanted to see all those things visually. And also there is one mystery about Mahabharata, that there was one warrior who was like in upper hand from other than all other persons over there. Like he was superior than Arjuna and even Karna, but his head was cut down and was put on a mountain because he was actually there to play side either from Kaurava or from Pandava. But he was such a brilliant warrior that Dronacharya asked him Guru Dakshina that I want your head. Her head was cut down and was put on the mountain because he asked that I at least wanted to see the I at least wanted to see this thing. I wanted to see this yuddha, and he everyone after finish when the yuddha was over, he was asked that what did you see in that yuddha, and he told the person who was killed was Krishna. A person who killed was also Krishna. So this thing has also stuck in my mind, and so whenever I hear the word time, I always wanted to see Mahabharata.
Oh, so it was almost like a question posed, making us all travel back to the past. And thanks. That's surely a question that everyone would have, like something similar to why did Katappa kill Bahubali? So great, Harshada. Thank you for that nice attempt. Okay, who's the next volunteer? Oh, Anand. Thank you. Yes, your topic would be, would you like to be a time traveler? Would you like to be a time traveler, distinguished Toastmaster Binay?
I am a time traveler. I am actually a time traveler. You are talking of a scenario in the first question, in the first topic, that whether there would be a scenario like this, that would there be a position or a time when we would be able to travel in time. I actually do. I sometimes think about a situation when I hear some wonderful and beautiful speeches uh, about the Toastmasters of the past or of the future. I actually go and travel in time. I feel myself that I am there. When I read a book about, like Harshada was saying, Mahabharata. Now I read so many books about Mahabharata from Devdutt Patnaik, from Amish, and so many writers. Each writer gives me a different perspective. When I read these books, I feel I am transported in that different era. When I want to go to future, again I read some of those books which take me to the future. All those scenarios, all those things which today we just think that yes, in times to come there would be, because 10 years earlier, 20 years earlier, we did not think of scenario when we would be having a touch screen phone or a Tesla bike, or a Tesla car and things like that. But today we are actually seeing that scenario. It is all the result of imagination. So we can travel across the times, front, back, and come back to the current times with our imagination. With our imagination, we can make our lives beautiful the way we want to be. Over to you, Jamie. You are muted. Unmute yourself, Jamie.
You're not audible, Toastmaster. Toastmaster Jamie, you're not audible.
I don't think I said something which made you speechless.
You may want to try without your headphone.
Yeah.
Still not audible, Jamie.
Still not audible.
Now I am sure that I said something.
Can you try with removing your headphones from your, maybe that one? Your mic is off, Toastmaster.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. So I was speechless, but it also made me speechless. It was a very adroit take on time traveling with respect to books, and which truly brought that sense of uh, like clicking of the light bulb. Very nice take. Thank you, Toastmaster Vinay, for that very nice take. Yeah, next volunteer for our table topic segment. Who would like to volunteer? Yes, Jerome.
Hi.
You are audible. Your topic would be, Jerome,
Okay.
which vehicle would you use for time travel? Which vehicle would you use for time travel? Jerome.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Which vehicle I would use for my for time travel? Considering current situation, I would prefer a bicycle. It will be more eco-friendly, and plus I won't require licenses whenever I'm crossing the borders. So yeah, I'll prefer a bicycle because it's going to help me both physically to become strong. Also, you know, it's not much expensive. Wherever I want, I can go, and less pollution, and I won't be and maybe I can set an example to others, like, you know, I can become like, there are people I heard like who do a cross country running, like, and they set an example. Same way, maybe I can set an example. Yeah, and it's a easy way to travel. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, thank you, Jerome. It was surely one silver lining of a cloud that we have a lot of content to speak at our table topics because of the fuel hikes in India in the present situation. That we have wonderful takers like Jerome speak up beautifully about riding a bicycle in place of using fuel because of the expense. So that is the every cloud has a silver linings example that I'd like to give. Great, Jerome. Wonderful, wonderful take on it. Kudos to you. Next, who would like to go? Who is our next volunteer? I think role players can also take. Oh, Toastmaster Raju.
I thought I'll escape this travel.
You can't escape travels when you're with us.
It is true.
Toastmaster Raju, your topic is, how will you prove or disprove time travel? How will you prove or disprove time travel? Toastmaster Raju.
Like DTM Vinay said, that if you read a book, you can imagine that you're gone in the past or you're going into your future. And that book would be my proof that I've time traveled. And when people talk about time travel, they normally talk about going millions of years backwards or million years in the future.
Toastmaster Raju, you're not audible.
I was not audible at all?
No, you were. And now you are
Just in the middle, we lost you.
I was in time travel. I was in the past, maybe. So let me come in the future now. Normally, I am speechless. Today, my mic has become speechless. So as I was saying that instead of going millions of years backwards or in the future, I would like to go maybe 20, 30, 40 years backwards and remember the good days of travel I've had during my college, university, and early business days. I have traveled most parts of the world, and I've got a lot of friends, and I've traveled with them almost every nook and corner of India. And why go so many millions years back? Just go 20, 30, 40 years backwards, and you can prove to people also with the photographs that you have time traveled in the past. Thank you, Toastmaster Day.
Wow.
Sorry,
Toastmaster
table topic
Raju, you should surely write a book so that we can time travel to your times and relive them again and again.
If I'm a reader like you, I will definitely write one.
You should. Thank you, Toastmaster Raju, for that yet another wonderful take. Yes, who will be our next volunteer? Okay, role players can also take. We have guest Mayur. Guest Mayur, would you like to try? Role players can also try your hand at it. Any role player? Anand, is it that you're directly taking them? Or
Yes, I'm putting people in the spotlight.
thank you, though. Okay, Toastmaster Pushpa. Toastmaster Pushpa, your topic would be. Toastmaster Pushpa, if you went back in time, what historical event would you change? If you went back in time, what historical event would you change? Toastmaster Pushpa.
So, good evening, everyone. And this is really a very interesting question. And if I am getting the chance to go back in time and to change something, then I would go back in time to the time when World War One and Two took place, because that was the time when wars were unnecessarily taking place, and I think many people lost their lives in those wars. So if I have even a 1% chance to change something in the past, I would really want to erase all those memory of wars and the that story of Hitler killing a lot of Jews and everything. So I would really want to do that, so that people can, when they are looking back in time, they can have some very good memories, and they don't really like have to go through all the horror again in the future. So, and we have a lot of examples when the US bombed two nuclear bombs in Japan, which is actually marked as a very dark period in time. So yeah, I would really want to change all of those things. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pushpa, for that very noble thought. Thank you. Wonderful take. Who wants to take the last and the final? Oh, thanks, Anand, once again. Okay, Toastmaster Shobit. The last and the final topic for you goes here. What would time travelers from the past think of today's world? What would time travelers from the past think of today's world? Toastmaster Shobit.
So probably I think I have seen one movie related to time travel. It was released in the year 1995. So it shows the world 2015. So I think when I watched that movie, so what they predicted, what was going to happen in 2015 was really not there in actual 2015. So probably suppose like what we used to think about like 2050 or 2060. So we think like that the technology would take over each and everything. And the second main reason, second main thing is that the climate change which we are facing, as we can see before a few days, there was a World Earth Day, and we seen that the glaciers are like, the glaciers are like icebergs as they used to there, but now they are melting at very high speed, and we are just disturbing the entire atmosphere and the entire climate. So maybe we can see more things like corona thing can be in the future, and the technology will be more there. Suppose like work from home is there right now, so in future maybe for anything we don't like to go out from our homes and houses, and everything is at our fingertips, and the life threat and the average lifespan of people will also decrease as per my thoughts. So that's all. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shobit. It was surely, again, a very thought-provoking take on the topic. Thank you. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ashwin. What is your time travel story, and why does it fascinate you so much? That is your topic. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashwin.
Can you repeat the topic? I will tell. Can you repeat the topic?
Why does time travel fascinate you so much?
Yeah. So time as a dimension has always been very fascinating because we are always bound by it. We are never able to travel out of it. It's like a cage in which we are being put in. The possibilities are endless from all the documentaries I have seen and all the scientists I have heard. And it always like creates this loop where what if you go in the past and do something, how would it affect you in the present? It's something which science fiction has always delved into, and I am a big fan of science fiction. Even though technologically we are way far away, but I would like to see it happening one day and all the possibilities it brings forward. It's a big, we would need a big technological leap to get there. But I believe the interest of so many people from so many movies, I'm pretty sure that people would push this forward, push the research in this domain forward. And probably one day we are able to do it. And mostly time travel should be possible. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You are the Elon Musk of Agnel Toastmasters, and probably we'll someday time travel and we'll put your name for sure. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
I must say, a lot of Toastmasters are looking to make money using time travel. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Jamie, for the entertaining session. Indeed, the session was conducted with a lot of adroit. Thank you, speakers, for thinking on your feet. Now, I would request Toastmaster Saish to present the timings taken by all the table topic speakers. I would request Zoom Master Anand to kindly unmute and spotlight Toastmaster Saish.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Sagar took 1 minute 45 seconds. Toastmaster Sunish 1 minute 37 seconds. Toastmaster Harshada 2 minutes. And DTM Vinay 1 minute 45 seconds. Guest Jerome 1 minute. Toastmaster Raju 1 minute 44 seconds. Toastmaster Pushpa 1 minute 20 seconds. Toastmaster Shobit 1 minute 7 seconds. Toastmaster Ashwin 1 minute 15 seconds. All have qualified for the vote.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saish. Zoom Master Anand, are we ready with the polls for the best table topic speaker?
Yes, we are. I've launched the polls.
I'd request everyone to vote. I'll move forward. Yeah,
just
sure.
a couple of votes to go. 2 more votes to go, to be precise. On a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We close the polls. Thank you.
Moving further with the theme. What about traveling into the past? Currently, we can only take a sneak peek into the past. That is why telescopes are for. When we have a telescope and we try to observe distant galaxies and stars, we are actually looking into how they look. We are not actually looking into how they look right now, but it's a sneak peek into the past, maybe hundreds or even thousands of years, depending on how far they are. Personally, I would love to travel to the 2nd century BC and see how Ajanta Ellora caves were carved. If I could go to the future, I would love to see a time where green energy was completely harnessed and there was no dependency on fossil fuels. Going further, just like every theory in physics gets evaluated time after time to understand and verify it better, The next part of our meeting is an important round, the Toastmasters meeting. In this round, a constructive feedback is given to each speaker as well as to the overall meeting conduct so that the members can benefit from the experience of evaluators and become better speakers. For this, we have the general evaluator to conduct the session. Today's general evaluator is Toastmaster Anand. Please help me welcome the general evaluator, Toastmaster Anand. I request you to spotlight yourself. Yeah, Toastmaster Anand.
Thank you, Toastmaster Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ashwin. The purpose of the general evaluator is to evaluate everything that takes place throughout the meeting, and during the meeting I have been taking notes on everything that happens and doesn't happen. I'll also evaluate each role player on the meeting program and look for good examples of preparation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm, observation, and performance of duties. To proceed with, we'll be starting with the evaluation of the prepared speeches. And for the evaluation of the first prepared speech, we have Toastmaster Shobit. Toastmaster Shobit, the stage is yours.
Can you please pin the timer?
Yes. Can you do a quick audio video check? And you are.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes, perfect. And you are able to see the timer cards as well? Okay, perfect. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Shobit.
So first of all, I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Siddharth for delivering his icebreaker speech. And really, one thing I need to say, that Toastmaster Siddharth, you are really an adroit person in choosing the types of words, and types of phrases, and types of quotes in your speech. There are many words, there are many words which personally I have heard for the first time in my life. The usage of word is the thing which I really like the most. The words you have used like romanticism, lunatic, schizophonic, and there are a lot more other quotes and phrases. And secondly, which I personally like about your icebreaker speech is that you have shared one PPT. Generally, in the icebreaker speech, we didn't see people sharing PPT, but it is a very good initiative. It is a very good start for you in the Toastmasters journey by sharing the PPT. And the PPT was really well designed. After that, the structure of the speech was really very good. The introduction, the body part, and the conclusion with a question. So that was really good. After that, your confidence, I really liked your confidence. The eye contact was good. And one more thing, you are very comfortable in delivering the speech. So that is another thing which I really like. You are not nervous for a bit of a second. And your grammar was good. Vocabulary was, as I earlier said, was good. But as there is a scope for each and everything, as there's scope for improvement also. So a few of the suggestions which I would like to quote. So as an icebreaker speech, I personally feel that you could choose some similar topic. As I feel there was a bit of disconnect between you and the audience which you were delivering the speech. At some point of time, it was a bit of confusing between the topic and the content which you was sharing. And your voice, I think you can use your voice modulation a bit better in a better way. And one more thing is that your gestures, your hand gestures was a bit of missing. So you can use like you can give your speech in a standing position where you can use your hand gestures and body postures a little bit in a more effective way. So that's all from my side. And yeah, you asked one question that can we figure it out about the world? Yes, you will figure it out in this Toastmasters journey. And one more thing, I totally agree with this quote. Life is like a painting and we are all filling colors to it. Thank you, and over to you, Journal Evaluator.
Thank you, Shobit, for that wonderful round of evaluation. I'm sure the speaker as well as the guests and other members would take feedback from that. Moving on, the second speech would be evaluated by Toastmaster Harshada. Toastmaster Harshada, can you unmute yourself and check your audio and video?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. And are you able to see the timer cards?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, Toastmaster Harshada, the stage is yours.
First of all, Amrita, you have a really melodious voice, like a singer's voice. Your speech was executed very beautifully and smoothly. It was simple to understand to every kind of audience, and your message was reached to each and every person because you used a simple and crisp words. Your speech was well constructed, like a sequence of events. You were able to jump into the next event like smoothly. You were totally into your speech. I was able to sense your emotions from your explained events. You successfully motivated everyone to try Vipassana once in a life. It's really good to see that you give priority to the things you wanted to do in your life, because when you do that, you make yourself happy and keep yourself goal oriented and engaged. You can improve in your speech by trying to use different tone at different interval of time in different paragraphs according to situation. You can use proverbs to make your speech more elegant. And one thing, like last time you didn't utilize your time in a well manner, but this time you have achieved that, and that's a great thing to see that. And one more thing I would like to say, that instead of moving just back and forward, you can just stand at one place and use your hand gestures and eye contact to make your speech more audience engaged. And if you want to move, you can just move in that particular paragraph or particular situation if it demands. Otherwise, everything was really good. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Harshada, for sharing that wonderful feedback and evaluation. Moving on, we have the next evaluator, Toastmaster Sanish, who would be evaluating the prepared speech for distinguished Toastmaster Vinay. Toastmaster Sanish, can you check your audio and video?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but your video grab is...
Yes.
Okay, now it's better. You are able to see the timer cards as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Toastmaster Sanish, the stage is yours.
Distinguished Toastmaster Vinay, every time you come on screen, you always exhibit how adept you are at the art of communication and public speaking. Unfortunately, I cannot whistle as they whistle in the Hindi movies, or I would have whistled like this, but for you, still no whistle, no voice so to that. But it was an amazing speech. The way you began explaining your personal story about how the siblings, the younger brother or sister, always tell on their elder sibling. That reminded me of my own relationship and how my sister always tells on my parents. That was an amazing way, especially considering the title, City Bajao. Before you came on stage, I was thinking, City Bajao, what could it be? And the way you were talking about brother, sister, the sibling relationship, it really got me again thinking, what is the topic going to be? And then you slowly went into that different scenario, talking about the corporate and how sometimes we inhibit or stop from telling that truth. And that is when it hit me, the content, the topic is around whistleblowing. So the way you brought your message and kept the suspense was an amazing. Secondly, I loved your voice. Your voice was very melodious and pleasant to hear throughout that whole 6 minutes 30 seconds. I could just, I think, keep on listening for the way you are telling the speech and your expressions wherever it was required. You had that sense of fear, inhibitions, or should you come or not to come, everything beautifully portrayed. How they say that satras of expression you brought in today in your speech. And finally, the call of action. That is for each of us, whenever faced, have that call of action of whether to go with loyalty or to go with honesty. And personally, I enjoy reading and listening to philosophy. So for me personally, I enjoyed the whole debate of honesty and loyalty. Something definitely I would like to connect with you offline and maybe discuss more on that particular topic. Two recommendations which I would like to give for today's speech. First, the purpose of the speech is to communicate a change to the group. So if the Toastmaster of the day had said that context of hypothetical example, like you are a CEO or a manager and communicating that a new whistleblowing policy would be introduced and we all are the employees in the organization. So some kind of context I feel would have brought more depth to that speech, because I was trying to connect what would be that relevance of this. So that was one person's suggestion. And second would be if you can give a scenario somewhere, maybe at the start or at the end. For example, one of the scenarios is like when it comes to ethics, like if you want to save a life, 1 life to 100 life, and if a train is going, and would you choose to save that one person? So somewhere you have to do that, some kind of scenario where you put us in and make us think. So that could be another thing. Together, a very beautiful speech, all the elements of the good and amazing speaker, melodious voice, that personal touch of sibling story. Just for this particular project, I would suggest having that reference of background and maybe scenario if that can be added. Thank you, and over to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanish, for that wonderful evaluation. I would request timer Toastmaster Sanish to share the timing report for the evaluators.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Shobit took 2 minutes 31 seconds. Toastmaster Hashada took 2 minutes 1 second, and Toastmaster Sanish took 3 minutes 29 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmasters Saish, for that assessment report. I would take this opportunity to launch the polls for the best evaluator. Request all of you to share your feedback. We just have 4 more votes to go. So on a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I guess we are done. Thank you. Now
Thank you,
it's
General. Okay.
no.
Continue?
Yeah,
Okay,
let
okay,
me continue.
okay.
Thank you. So we'll moving on. I will call upon for the R counter to share the report for the R's and M's. Toastmaster Manju, in case you are there, can you please turn on your video? You may please share the report.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, I guess you may read it out because it's such a short text that it will be very difficult for us to read it out. You may share this report later in the chat box.
Okay, okay. Toastmaster Siddharth used word a 5 times, pauses short 1 time, and no phrases. Toastmaster Vinay used filler sounds a 4 times, 3 times, short pauses 1 time, repetitions in a, anybody, anybody. Toastmaster Anand used filler sounds 18 times, 2 times, and no repetitions. Toastmaster Ashwin used filler sounds 7 times, short pauses 1 time, and repetition, it's a big, it's a big. Toastmaster Jamie used filler sounds 5 times and no repetition. Toastmaster Shobit used crutch word and 1 time, so 6 times. Filler sounds twice. Glaciers are, and many, many repetition. Many as repetitive phrase. Toastmaster Saish used filler sound 7 times. Toastmaster Amrita used filler sounds 25 times and repetition phrases they, you. Toastmaster Sunish have not used any clutch word, filler sounds, or any phrases. Toastmaster Sagar used filler sounds 15 times, twice, and repetition ear. Toastmaster guest Jerome used clutch word twice, filler sounds thrice, and no repetition. Toastmaster Raju used filler sounds once, once. Toastmaster Pushpa used clutch word and once, so once, filler sound 6 times, and 2 short pauses. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manju, for that crisp report. Moving on, we have the next tag team role player, Toastmaster Pushpa, who will be sharing the grammarian report. The stage is yours, Toastmaster Pushpa.
So first of all, I would like to congratulate all the speakers for their participation and their wonderful speeches. Indeed, all the speakers used grammar very adroitly. So the word of the day was used by Toastmaster Jamie and Toastmaster Shobit, and both used the word of the day in the correct context. There were some improper usage of grammars. The first one is, so I established. That would become, so I had established, because when one refers to a time earlier than before now, it is used to make it clear that one event happened before another in the past. So that had to be included there. Second one is most important was a incorrect usage of grammar. It would be most importantly, because most important is an adjective, whereas most importantly is an adverb. An example is, so whenever you want to add something more, you say, but most importantly, we need to carry medicines with us to the trip. The next one is, only few hours left would become, only a few hours was left. The last one would be, stand by us thick and thin would become, stood by us through thick and thin. So these were some improper usage of grammar, and there were some idioms and good phrases which I really liked. Those were, abstain from, Pandora's box, do not blow the whistle, and be eccentric. So lastly, I would like to say that don't be upset if your speech did not go as planned, because every cloud has a silver lining, and use all your setbacks as stepping stones to success.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pushpa, for giving that succinct report. I would now like to take this opportunity to launch the polls for the best supporting role players. I request all of you to vote. We can close the polls in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. Moving on. Now I go to the next section, continue with the section wherein I will be sharing my general observation about the entire meeting. The meeting started on time, and it started well with an inspiring message from the audience, inspiring message from the presiding officer, Toastmaster Sanish. He shared his personal journey, how where it started from, and it's more importantly the message from our guest. It's never too late. It's nice to see, even though we are a small crowd today, but each crowd has a silver lining. And that is, each one of us could take up table topics and be more participative in the entire thing. Next, moving on, we had the wonderful theme by the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ashwin. You took efforts in creating a poster so that everyone could use it and everyone could come together. I love the analogy between as a meeting being as a spaceship journey. So that was really relatable. And also, you called upon the grammarian first, so that I guess the intention was the R counter and the timer could also use the word of the day and the phrase of the day. Good work on that. You introduced the tag team role players very well, and they introduced them as well. So again, kudos to you. Grammarian Pushpa, wonderful job using the word of the day and the phrase of the day. I hope you could add one more phrase of the day usage by me into that list. Congratulations. Toastmaster Manju, despite the challenges, I loved your spirit of connecting using a mobile and sharing a detailed report. So kudos to you as well. Toastmaster Sanish, who have been quite diligent in taking up the roles, and today as well did your job to perfection. Congratulations. We had a wonderful lineup of speakers, and hadn't they been loaded with heavy messages with Siddharth, Toastmaster Siddharth, in his icebreaker speech, comparing the realism in paintings to equating your life path to the various eras. I mean, how many times have you heard speeches like these? Toastmaster Amrita, the lovely theme of being with oneself, and distinguished Toastmaster Vinay, with the theory of the moral foundation and the moral dilemmas that we face, whether in our personal lives or in the organizations that we represent. Finally, we had moving on, we had the table topic master. I loved the way how you use the shuffle. Normally we use pin timer wheel, the wheel or something else, numbers 1 2 3, and use the shuffle, which was used very effectively. I liked it. Also, you gave feedback which shows that you are actively listening, and this encourages the speaker. So good work on that. One feedback that I could share is where the purpose and the timing of the table topics where they properly explained. So that is a question to be asked. One is whether especially for the new members and the guests, if you could have asked for the timer to share the timing details. What is the timing for a prepared speech, for an impromptu speech, and also why a table topic? And the keywords are listening, thinking, organizing, and speech delivery skills. This is the value that a table topic session enhances. So maybe you could add these things. We had wonderful guests. We had guests as well as members participating in the table topics. It was lovely to hear all of those messages. And again, once again, Toastmaster Jamie, you did a wonderful job by giving feedback and uh, and conversing with those members. Thank you. Moving on, we had the evaluators. We had Toastmaster Shobit and Harshada attempting evaluation for the very first time. I applaud you for taking this up and starting on your journey on giving evaluations, which is also a speech in itself. I love the way how Toastmaster Sanish used the CRC approach while delivering his evaluation, and that is something which the other evaluators can look forward to deliver an evaluation. That's it, and I hand it over back to the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you.
Thank you, Generally Evaluated Toastmaster Anand. We had taken our spaceship for a wonderful journey, and now we have to land. The mysteries of the universe are fascinating, and we still have barely scratched the surface. I feel that should humble us and make us fascinated by the unknown. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, it has been a pleasure serving as the Toastmaster this evening, and I hope that you enjoyed the meeting. On that note, a big thank you to all for being here today and making the meeting a success. It's time for the awards now. I would like to hand over the session to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Sanish. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Ashwin. Let's give him a warm round of applause. And let me say, on behalf of all the attendees present, it has been an absolute pleasure listening to the session today. and it was a great engaging session. So thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Ashwin. And like the general evaluator already mentioned, we had many members who had taken the role for the first time, including Ashwin and Lord. Already general evaluator had covered those names. So I don't know, but let's give a warm round of applause and probably pat on the back for all those who are taking the role for the first time. Now moving ahead, yes, Toastmaster Raju had asked a question. The results for the district contest will be announced tomorrow evening for all the 4 results together. And on that note, again, congratulations to distinguished Toastmaster Santosh on reaching the finals, and all the best for his final round tomorrow for the ISC International Speech Contest. Yes, all the best to Santosh. Again, another announcement I would like to again share. It's already been communicated on WhatsApp. It's great privilege to share and congratulate Toastmaster Jamie for becoming the Division Director-elect of District 18. So again, a warm round of applause. She's no longer in the meeting, but it's a proud moment for all of us. Like, one of the members is being elected for a district position. Another member is reaching the district finals for 3 of the contests. So it's I would say great day for the Agnel Toastmasters. I would request the Zoom master to let me know once the certificates are ready.
The certificates are ready. We need to launch the polls for the best role player.
Best role player. Let's do that.
The polls have been launched.
I request all the 12 people in the room to quickly vote. Last 4 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Thank you. In the meantime, the Zoom master is getting that last certificate ready. I'd request guests who had joined us later to share how was the meeting, and I would also request, we have one Toastmaster. Yeah, Toastmaster Saga. So I'll just clarify. You are from Agnel or from another club? I think our VPM is adding so many members. Sometimes I keep lose track. So if you can unmute Saga.
Yeah, I'm Agnel, I think.
Okay, great, Saga. Great to have. I think I'll have to go through the member roster again. So yes. So Mayur, if you would like to share with us, how was the experience? I think Mayur is not available right now. So Jerome, if you would like to share, how was your experience? You're on mute right now.
Experience is good. Compared to last time, I was a bit more comfortable today. And yeah, it's learning phase. Slowly, I'm sure like I'll reach to my goals with which I joined this club. And it's good, a lot of people are speaking and getting to learn a lot of new words or the new way of expressing, different way of expressing things. That's it.
Great to have you with us, Jerome. Looking ahead for your presence in the future meetings, as well as do hope you become a member.
I already informed Vidya, to enroll. I would like to enroll myself for the same in this club.
Great. That's great to have you with us. I would now request Zoom Master to share the certificates. The best prepared speech goes to distinguished Toastmaster Vinay.
Can someone take the screen grab?
I'll help Anand. If you can spotlight, right? Or you want
I can spotlight.
I will take photos.
Thanks. Congratulations, Vinay. Can we have the next certificate? Can you confirm once the pic is taken?
Yeah, done.
Thank you. The best table topic again. Congratulations, Vinay.
This is a surprise.
Can we have the next? The best evaluator goes to myself. Thank you, everyone. Can we have the next? The best role player goes to Toastmaster Pushpa. Congratulations, Pushpa. Is the pick taken?
Yeah, taken.
Thank you. Can we have the next? The best role player goes to Toastmaster Ashwin. Congratulations, Ashwin. I'm sure you must have gone in future and seen, right? Who won the best role? Can we have the next certificate? Yes.
That's it.
Thank you, everyone. We do have the eloquence, the district contest, which is on the both days. Today was the first day. Tomorrow again it will be there from 10 to 6. If you have time, I would strongly suggest do attend. There are keynote speeches, many contestants. We'll get to witness the best of the best across the district. And yes, I do see Sagar. Sagar, just give me an announce to officially close the meeting, and then we can take the questions if it's okay. So
yeah, sure.
Have the next session on 21st. We'll come out with the details for further how it will be going. The next session will be on 21st May. Hoping to see all of you guys and request everybody to switch on the videos. Let's have a group pic. So smile everyone. So Saish, Pushpa, Mayur, if you are there, do switch on your cameras. All right, guys, smiles. 3, 2, 1. Okay, once more, Saish has joined. Done. And with that, I officially close today's session. So Sagar, yes.